Welcome back to another edition of Roll Tide Rewind. It was a thrilling Iron Bowl, first ever Iron Bowl out of 86 editions to go into overtime. And I've got Thomas and Cole here with me to break it down for you guys, go through the X's and O's, what we liked, what we didn't like, and just take a deeper look at this thrilling win over Auburn. Always good to get a win over Auburn, especially on the road, and especially even more so when it keeps Alabama in the playoff hunt, right, guys?
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to jump right into it here. Normally, our
That's
last
good.
couple episodes, we've been ending with Will Anderson, kind of end on a positive note. Everybody's frustrated with the defense, but to kind of calm you guys down, we say Will Anderson's still there. We still have Will Anderson. But this week, we figured we would start with him. There's been some Heisman buzz, or maybe some buzz about how there should be more Heisman buzz for Will Anderson. So as we dive into this film from the Iron Bowl, we are going to start with a couple of really impressive plays by Will Anderson, guys. So we're going to go ahead and get it started here early on in the first quarter. So we got the nice little inside stunt there, the Terrell Lewis. I think, Thomas, you mentioned how that was reminiscent of that famous Terrell Lewis sack from the Georgia national championship, right?
It's the same exact stunt. Will's done this stunt a few times this year. I know he did it against LSU. And like, that's the Terrell Lewis play. You just start at the end and you just run kind of like wrap around, look like he wraps around LeBron, right? And ends up wrapping around Dallas Turner as well, because Dallas Turner goes inside and Will's just able to go around him. And I don't know who was supposed to pick him up. Sean Shivers was like he was running a route. Like he was acting like he was blocking and running a route. And looks like that's either the center or the guard that realizes that Will's going to go untouched and tries to make a play on him, but it's just already too late.
Yeah, there's no chance at that point.
Yep.
And there are probably some people out there who wonder why they do this so much. Like if Will Anderson is so good at rushing against offensive tackles and getting pressure that way, why would they, stun him inside up the interior of the line? Cole, you had a good point about that in our prep. Why is it? Why do you think it's a good idea that they continue to do this? And why not just keep him going against offensive tackles that he has so much success against?
Yeah, so I think if you use them in different ways, you kind of catch the offense off guard. So if you keep rushing him off tackle, like they can prepare for that. They can double team. They can chip with the tight end. They can find different ways to try to limit his impact. But if you do something like this, like obviously they don't have a tight end in this formation, but there's no way you're going to chip Will Anderson on that. And it throws the offensive line off. It's actually something Auburn did a lot in this game, not necessarily with stunts as much, but just confusing our offensive line. And we didn't know who to block a lot of times. So just using him in different ways. I mean, his impact is so great. If you can ever get him in one-on-one, especially with a center or a guard, that's a big win for Will Anderson.
Absolutely. That's a great point. So we see what he can do in the pass rush there, getting after quarterbacks, making TJ Finley's life very difficult. Now we're going to move on to another play where he shows he's not just a pass rusher, which, if you've watched any of Will Anderson, you know that. So this is going to be him up here at the top. Let's watch him make a play in the run game here down with Auburn pinned up against their own goal line. So he just absolutely discards that. Is that a tackle or is that a tight end over there?
That's a tackle.
Yeah,
that's a tackle. Yeah.
Yeah, that right tackle just has no chance. There's a really good view coming up here in a minute, but man, Will Anderson and Phil Mathis both do a really, really solid job on that.
Yep.
Here's the look I really want us to hone in on. CBS had a lot of close-ups of the lines in this game, and this is just majestic. Just get the heck out of my way and just wrestles into the ground.
Yep. And this is something we unfortunately saw go the opposite way a lot of times in this game, where Will Anderson just completely beats him off the ball and gets into his chest. That offensive lineman has no chance. If you let a defensive lineman into your chest, you have no chance of making any push in the run game. It's something Alabama struggled with a lot in this game, but it's something Will Anderson does a fantastic job here.
Yeah, and one thing I like about Will that no one talks about a lot, he's known as the pass rusher, but half of his tackles for losses have come on run plays. So he has 14.5 sacks, but he has 29.5 tackles for loss, meaning he's had 15 tackles for loss that happen on run plays. So it's just he's he's the best pass rusher, but he's also a very unstoppable force when it comes to running the ball as well.
That's a great
run defense. So it's just crazy.
Yeah, I love the awareness here too, because that's a big part of it. While you're engaging with the lineman, a lot of times, you'll see guys get so caught up in winning the block that the running back just zooms right past him, right? But what I love about this is he's focusing on winning that block, but you can tell right there, he's still keeping an eye on what Tank Bigsby is doing. So he's got the upper hand on Ham here, but then he is still keeping one eye on Tank Bigsby so that he can quickly disengage from that block and make the tackle. I think that's a really important aspect of that too.
That's also a really good play by Fedarian Mathis too.
Yeah.
Like it looked like he was getting
Oklahoma.
double teamed and he just went by the double team and also helped Will on the play.
For sure.
Darian Mathis had a fantastic game on Saturday. He's been really
The whole defensive line did.
Now moving on to 3rd and 2 here. I believe, this is just a couple plays later. So Will's going to be up here at the top next to Phil Mathis again. And just the lateral movement, being able to make plays up and down the defensive line. He's not just going straight ahead. He's not just stunting, but we may have another view here in a second of a different angle. But I just love how the quickness that you can see that he moves up and down the line. Maybe we don't have another replay, so I'll just back it up here. But
he throws it offensive lineman straight to the ground. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, he does. He manhandles that dude.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that Dallas, the play was already made and Dallas Turner, he didn't mean to grab the face mask, obviously, but just such a great play.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that running back is already falling to the ground. Like right there is where the penalty happens, just unnecessary there. But yeah, Will just absolutely, this guy ends up flat on his rear end, lying on the Jordan-Hare Stadium turf. I guess it's real grass, isn't it? It's not turf, but
that's real grass.
Yeah, but Will just moves up and down the line. Just the lateral quickness that Coach Saban talks about is really on display there. And we'll get to another one later that even more so impresses me in that way. Anything else on this one, guys, before we move on?
Yeah, overall good defensive play besides the last part.
Yeah. So then next drive here, again, Will Anderson up here at the top of the defensive line. Yeah, this is the play I was just talking about. We're going to show a different view here, but he moves laterally an insane amount. Really shows you the effort, really shows you his athleticism, and just really an incredible play. So he's here. He's outside this offensive tackle, right? I want us to notice where he ends up making this play.
Right in the middle of the field.
In the middle of the field, in the middle of the logo, right? So that's, he's literally moving a quarter of the way across the field. Let me scroll back here. He starts here. He ends up here to make the play. So just
a great
awesome
push by the
effort
defensive
there.
line as well.
Yeah, just super disruptive. I thought this was one of their best games of the year. They really controlled the line of scrimmage, really from start to finish. There weren't too many plays where you could see them, get overpowered or anything. They got a lot of penetration. They were very disruptive overall.
Yeah, against LSU, they had one of their better games, but they'd still allow I think 100 rushing yards. In this game, it was just they were not allowing the thing.
Yep.
Yeah, there was nowhere for Tank Bigsby and other Auburn runners to go. TJ Finley didn't really take off and run much in this game. Definitely less than I thought he would.
It's also because he got hurt too, and kind of during the game, so he was kind of limited after the end. But
yeah, and we'll get to that. The way he was limping around, he should not have stayed in that game. But anyway, moving on to another Will Anderson play here. Again, he's going to be at the top of your screen right there. There are some plays where you just shake your head. My gosh. Who put this one in here? Cole, Thomas, which one you guys put this one in here? What'd you see on this one?
Just him blowing the tight end 3 yards into the backfield, and just how he has his hands placed. He has total control of that number 47. His hands are inside, and he can throw them which way he wants to. He has total control. From the right to the get-go, he has just total control. Off the snap, kind of beats him off the snap, pushes him back, has control, makes the play.
Yep. This is another example here where Will Anderson just beats that dude off the ball. Off the snap, he's the first one there, and that's why he's able to get his hands inside, like Thomas was saying, inside of the tight end there. And you see Ideally, offensively, you want to be pushing him back. You want to be pushing Will back, but he's 3 yards back in the backfield after this play. That's just a fantastic job by Will.
Yeah. And another thing that I read, I could be wrong though, but like from 0 to 5 yards or 0 to 10 yards, Will Anderson's the fastest player on the team. From 0 to 10, he's the fastest. And his time that they measured, it's faster than Jaylen Waddle's 0 to 10.
I did not know that. That's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Like last year, I think this year is 0 to 10 is the fastest. And compared to last year, Jaylen Waddle's time, it's faster than Jaylen Waddle's 0 to 10.
Man.
That's crazy.
It's just explosiveness, like how you explode off the ball. So
as a 240-pound edge rusher, he's got the fastest 10-yard split on the team.
He's huge.
Bonkers.
Like he's huge.
Yeah.
Just blows in the backfield, makes a great play. Like Tank had nowhere to go in this game. Tank's a great running back. Like he's probably, I would say he's like the best one in the, like he or Tyler Beatty's like the 2 of the best ones in the SEC. But if no one's going to block for you, or like if they're just great defensive line and like poor blocking, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Also on this play, I just noticed it. Watch Tim Smith here in the middle, number 50. He absolutely throws the center. Yep, right there.
Right here next to Will. Yep. A lot of chaos.
Oh man. Oh man.
Man.
Wow.
Just the raw
No,
power that really both of those guys play with. I mean, Will, as soon as he hits Schenker there at 47, the tight end, you can see him like literally be forced back into the backfield. And I mean, I think that's the biggest, most noticeable thing about Tim Smith's game too, is just the power that he plays with. He was ragdolling offensive linemen even last year when he was a true freshman.
Yeah, he and Byron Young and Fedarian had great games.
Yeah, they did. So now those are some plays that show Will Anderson's disruption very early on. Now we're going to skip ahead to later in the game. By now, all of you should know that he's disruptive really throughout the whole game, but just so you can see, it's not just a hot start and then he fizzles out. This guy's, he's on 24/7.
That's I don't even know what to say about that one.
I'm not really sure what Auburn's trying to do from a blocking standpoint here.
I feel like they're trying to get 47 to push him inside, and the 2 people pull, the center and the guard are going to pull around, and the guard's going to get Job and the center's going to get Christian Harris. If you look at how it's, like kind of like on the outside right there, but 47 totally whiffs, and Will just runs right in between the guards and the center and the guard, and it's just over.
Yeah, 47 doesn't look like he's going to block Will at first. It looks like he's going to go release out on a route, and then he says, "Oh crap, I got to block Will Anderson."
Yeah, and if you watch the center and guard, they're like acting like they're going outside. They're not going to touch Will Anderson.
Right. Yeah. Neither of them really. You can see where they're looking, and they're not really looking at him at the start. They're looking outside of him. I agree with you on that, Thomas. But I don't know. Yeah. This was a weirdly blocked play for me, but.
It must be just miscommunication. That probably is a miscommunication, but you can't let Will just walk in the backfield. He just
gets upfield in a hurry and splits both of them.
I tend to think this is supposed to be a run like completely to the outside, and he's just trying to chip him just a little bit and get quickly to the outside. And I think they just underestimate how quick Will Anderson is. I mean, it didn't help that the tight end completely misses there, but I feel like they just misjudged how fast he was and how willing he was to get to the ball. Because I definitely think those guys are definitely pulling to block upfield. I think the goal here is to try to run behind them, but you got to get outside of Will Anderson first. I don't know how they thought they were going to do that.
I feel like if the play is blocked well, I think it would do pretty good, because if Will gets pushed inside, that's 2 guards against Job and Harris. The guy who would have to make the play is Henry, because the guard from the backside tries to get him, but Henry kind of is fast and Henry kind of just runs around him. But if that play's blocked well, it could end up being a good play. But you don't block Will Anderson, you'll probably pay the consequences.
Yep.
Here's another good view right here.
Splits him.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Goes right between him, and just the ferocity. I mean, he doesn't just tackle the guy. I mean, he slams him to the ground. He doesn't just want to, make the tackle. He wants to do it aggressively. He wants to bloody you and bury you, which I love. I love that intensity that he plays with. And then last play for Will Anderson here. We've skipped ahead to middle of the 4th quarter here. And again, just super disruptive in a lot of different ways here, guys. What do we see on this one?
it's kind of similar to like the last few plays. So number 47 was blocking them. It just pushes them in the backfield. They run the ball right to that side. They have a few pulling, like a guard and a center, and just will disrupt the whole play.
I don't understand blocking Will Anderson with a tight end, but we've seen it over and over and over again. And shockingly, every single time we've seen it, Will Anderson has dominated that matchup. So I don't get that at all. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, Schenker, the right tackle, and Schenker, 47, the tight end there, didn't have very much fun blocking Will Anderson, I'm sure. What I love about this one is he does so much on this play in such a short amount of time. I mean, he takes on the block, gets the, right there, that's already a great look. He disrupts the other blockers from getting where they need to go. He forces the running back to hesitate. And then to add on to that, he disengages from his own block and makes the tackle himself. So he's one of those guys that having him there helps everybody else do their jobs better. I mean, this gives everybody else more time to get over there and tackle the running back, gives everybody else more time to get off their blocks because he's so disruptive. He's preventing the other Auburn blockers from getting out to where they need to be. So just, I don't know, just a truly special player who does not come around very often, and just the type of guy who literally helps everybody else on his team do their job better, which is just super impressive. There hasn't been a whole lot of Heisman buzz for him, but depending on how he does against Georgia, maybe we'll see that change. I'm not sure.
Maybe. I mean, like he's got 29 and a half tackles for loss. And since 2005, the most the players had in a season is 32. So like, and then sacks, he has 14 and a half. The most the players had since 2005 is 20. So, I mean, like, he's having a great year. I don't know why he doesn't get a lot of Heisman buzz. Maybe if Alabama were to beat Georgia and say he had like 2 to 3 sacks, 4 to 5 tackles for loss, that may do it for him because everyone's going to be watching that football game. So I don't know.
Yeah, that'll definitely help. I mean, it's also weird because you would think if there were any year that would be perfect for a defensive player or a non-quarterback to win it. I know we saw it Smitty last year, so it does happen that a non-quarterback wins it, but it would seem like this would be the year because there really hasn't been a clear-cut dominant quarterback for the whole year. I mean, it was Matt Corral, and it was Kenny Pickett, and then it was down to Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, and there still isn't a clear-cut winner like there seems to be by this point in most seasons. So it would seem to me like if there were ever going to be a year that a defensive guy could have stats that no one's put up in 15 years, that this might be the year that you could have an edge rusher win it over all the quarterbacks and running backs and whoever. But
and
still,
Aiden
the highest I've
Hutchinson's
seen him in the odds is like 5th. With
Aiden Hutchinson's
odds.
also having a great year too. So
right.
I think there's hopefully like I would love for both of them to get invited to New York, like because Aiden Hutchinson, like he's not having like people are comparing the season to Chase Young. There's different aspects to it that Chase Young did better and that Aiden does better. Like he's better at getting quarterback pressures than Chase Young was. Chase Young also forced 7 fumbles, which is just unheard of. That was crazy that he forced 7 fumbles, but he's having a similar year to Chase Young, and I just think Will Anderson's having a better year. And like, even like the stats that don't show up for Will Anderson, he's always in the backfield making the plays and just like making the running back go somewhere else to allow like Henry to make a tackle or Christian Harris to make a tackle. Like Henry's had 93 tackles this year. He's probably going to get 100 on Saturday. So.
Yep. Well said, my friend. So far in the short, I guess, existence of Roll Tide Rewind, we've mostly focused on the struggles and the successes of the offense. Here's another look at that Will Anderson play. But we've mostly looked at the offense and then kind of looked at some defensive miscues and defensive highlights, mostly from Will Anderson at the end of our videos. Well, we started with Will Anderson today. There were a few other players who I thought played really well in this game against Auburn, who I wanted to highlight before we kind of went through the craziness that happened at the end of this game. One of those guys was Demarcco Hellams, who is not, the biggest name on Alabama's defense, isn't a guy who makes a whole lot of highlight plays, but he caught my eye in this game. I thought he had several really, really nice plays. So I'm going to go through 3 or 4 of them right here. But this one, I really love his patience. He doesn't panic when he gets targeted downfield. And this is all off script too, as we'll see in the replay here. Let me back this up, but Demarcco is the safety right here, and he picks up this receiver from Brian Branch. So Branch passes him off to Demarcco. So I like the communication there, first of all. But then when this receiver, it's probably a little blurry there, but hopefully you guys can see it. When the receiver sees TJ Finley rolling out to his right, the receiver bails and runs super deep. And Demarcco, you know, I couldn't blame him if he panicked and just dragged the guy down and got a PI for fear of getting beat for a deep touchdown. But he doesn't do that. He doesn't panic. He stays with the guy. He trusts his coverage, and he makes a really nice pass breakup. You know, from the angle it showed originally, it actually looked like 6 there caught the ball. But Demarcco, you know, stays disciplined, trusts that he's in good position to make a play on the ball, and he does. I mean, that's a clean play. He's not hanging all over the guy and getting called and getting flagged or anything. It's just a really nice play deep downfield, and he trusts his coverage. So I really like to see that. And I also think this was good to see from him because he kind of has the reputation, at least for me, of being a guy who is a really good tackler and kind of lays the boom over the middle. But we haven't seen him make a whole lot of plays deep downfield in the pass game. So this was nice to see that from him as well.
It was definitely nice to see him have a good game because, like, sometimes he gets picked on by the fans because he'll let a guy burn him deep or something.
Right.
But it was great. It was nice to see him have a good game because he made a lot of great plays in this game. Like, I remember a lot of plays, just him being the first one to the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is him right here. This is Branch. Branch passes this slot receiver off, and then Demarcco does a really nice job deep downfield, not panicking, and makes a really good play on the ball. And brings up 2nd and 10. So now we'll skip ahead a few more plays, and we'll see him for more of what he's known for, which is being a solid tackler, probably the hardest hitter in Alabama's backfield. Would you guys agree with that? Am I off base on that? I feel like I see the most hard hits coming from him.
I'd probably agree with that.
Yeah, he and Christian Harris definitely the boom.
Yeah. So what I like about this one is we've seen the middle of the field be vulnerable for Alabama's defense, even dating back to last year. The A&M game really sticks in my mind for a lot of those slants, and the tight ends really killed them. But this was a really nice play by Demarcco. Good recognition. This is him right here. Good recognition to see what these receivers are doing, to see that this slot receiver is kind of running a slant over the middle, and he gets there at the same time the ball does. So it's a well-timed pass breakup. He's not getting there too early and getting flagged, but he's putting a hit on the receiver and gets the pass breakup and protects the middle of the field, which is huge for Nick Saban's defense. That's kind of their main goal, the main idea of their defense is to protect and be strong up the middle. So I like the physicality there. I like the recognition, and being able to break that pass up is really nice. Nice play by Henry here too.
Yeah, they
both
both
running back at first, but then he comes off him and sees what's going on, and he gets in there on that pass breakup as well.
The thing I like the most about that play is that he doesn't use his helmet. I mean, we saw Jameson Williams exit this game early with the targeting call. Like, a lot of times receivers going over the middle, especially a hard hitting safety like Hellams, he wants to lay that guy out. He wants to really, really hurt that dude.
Right.
But it's a good job laying off, not using his helmet, and he still makes a big hit, still dislodges the ball from the receiver. It's a great job.
Yep, that's a great point. And then we'll get another view here. Slot receiver cuts inside. Looks like he's going to be open. And then To'o and Hellams do a really nice job breaking that up. Now we'll skip ahead later in the game. It's a little more nervous. Alabama's trailing 7-0. 3rd and 5 here. Key play for Auburn down in the red zone. And Demarcco makes a really nice play right at the goal line. I mean, that is absolutely key. If he gets there a half second sooner, at worst, it's 1st and goal from the 2, or at worst for Auburn. It could end up being a touchdown depending on how that panned out. But again, just good recognition and makes a great play on the ball. What was that, Thomas?
I was saying it's a really big play because I think that's their first drive of the second half, because Alabama got the ball first, went 3 and out, punted it, and they had a good punt return. So if they were to score a touchdown there, that momentum, if it hadn't swung at that point, it would have like totally swung. Because the next drive, I think Bryce threw an interception. So like if they scored a touchdown, then Bryce throws a pick the next drive, like that's 14-0, and Auburn's on your side of the field trying to get another touchdown. So
yeah, TJ Finley and a lot of Auburn fans, I think, wanted a flag here, but I think there's a case to be made, but and Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson said this on the broadcast. He doesn't really turn him around by grabbing his shoulder there. I mean, there is contact right there. His hand is on his shoulder, but does it really affect 40's ability to catch the ball? I would say no. I think it's a clean play. I think it's a nice job. You know, again, kind of towing that line of being physical, being in good position to make the play, but not being so physical that you get flagged. You know, I mean, he's not getting there too early. He's you know, he's playing defensive back, and
I will say this, that the flag could have been thrown there, but I mean, earlier in the game, Jameson Williams got hit before a pass and no flag was thrown. So, I mean, like, it's just, you know, a this or that type thing.
Yeah,
like the fans
I think it's ticky tack, and I think the only thing it does is slow the game down. You know what I mean?
Like, and also like the fans can complain about that call, but like there's multiple missed calls throughout the game, but the people pick and choose the plays that, you know, benefit Alabama. So
yeah, absolutely. And then last
plus
one,
Alabama had what, 11 penalties in this game? Like, was it like, yeah, it was like 11 or something like that.
Yeah, probably. And then so we've seen a couple really nice plays from Demarcco in the past game. Really like this too. This is the kind of play that we've seen Alabama safeties kind of do a little flyby, or they lose their balance and miss the tackle in open space. But I thought this was really good by Demarcco, coming from 10 yards deep in the defensive backfield to come up and get the tackle for loss here was really impressive. At this point, I remember I sent a message in our group chat and said, guys, that's like 4 impressive plays for Demarcco Hellams. He's going to have to get a shout out this week. So
I think that was my favorite play of the night from him. Like, I remember watching that live and I just see him fly across the screen and make that play.
Yeah, that was really nice.
It looks like to me, he plays that like a linebacker. He almost does a better job with that than To'o does. And To'o is the linebacker. That's a great job reading where he's going to go and getting there quickly. That's a great job by Hellams.
I'm wondering, because, like, you know, I'm not going to claim to know a whole bunch about gap integrity and who has what gap in the run game, but I don't know if Demarcco really has a run responsibility on this play. It may just be him taking the initiative and saying, hey, I'm freed up, let me go make a play. It kind of seems unlikely to me that he would be the contain guy who's responsible, who has like the outside most gap in the run game, right? I would think that would fall to, who's that, LeBron there?
I mean, I think he just realizes that it's a run play from the beginning and just kind of takes off.
I agree. Yeah, I don't think he actually has a run responsibility on the play. I think he just sees an open lane, sees 4 going that way, and says, I'm going to go make this tackle, which I love.
Yeah. Like even the plays where Tank could have bounced it outside, like just a great play by Demarcco is going to prevent Tank from doing anything.
Yep. So like Cole said, not Henry's best play there. To'o doesn't quite get there in time, but I did really like the aggressiveness that he played with early in this game. So I wanted to give him and Christian Harris a little shout out here too. I think
Henry played a great game. I think he did well.
I think both of those guys, I think it seems like Alabama fans are kind of lukewarm on both of them. You know, they're kind of hot and cold. They make good plays, and then you want a little more from them. But I thought early on, both of them were really aggressive. So a few highlights here. Really like how they both attack the line of scrimmage here. What you don't like to see from the linebacker position is a lot of hesitation, where it looks like they're really thinking and they're trying to figure out what they're seeing from the blocking. To me, what I see here, and this is Henry right there, number 10, Christian Harris, number 8, the 2 inside linebackers. It seems like they're able to diagnose this really quickly and just go. There's not a whole lot of hesitating and shuffling their feet and trying to figure out where they fit. They're diagnosing it and they're going. And I think that's really important for them, because it feels like Alabama fans want more impact plays from them like this. They want to see them not hesitate and kind of shuffle the feet. They just want to see them go and just go make the play. And I thought that was encouraging to see this from them early on.
Especially Henry, like from the beginning of the play, Henry's already like, it feels like he's already in the backfield.
Yeah. And this was the first defensive play of the game. So, I mean, you can tell they're a little fired up playing on the road at Auburn. It's the Iron Bowl. You know, I could definitely feel that they had a little extra juice for this one. And then the very next play, it carried over. So it wasn't just the first play and then they kind of settled back in. The aggressiveness was still there. They're making those reads. They're getting in the backfield. Henry makes a really nice play there, actually. You know, makes his read, shoots his gap, kind of reaches around and is part of that tackle too. Phil Mathis is fired up too. But
I love the players flying to the ball too. Like after that stop is made, 4 or 5 guys are running to tackle him.
Yeah, Christian Harris stumbles as he's going around and gets up, and all those guys want to be in on the play.
Yeah, like Will Anderson from the beginning, he like goes in the backfield, kind of gets like a cut block, I would say. I think it was a cut block. Yeah, it was a cut block, and then he gets up and helps on the play. So
yeah, very nice.
Henry To'oTo'o's eyes are just incredible. I think I've felt that kind of the whole year. He's just so good at diagnosing a play early. You can tell he's played a lot of football, and he knows exactly where he needs to be, and he gets there quickly. And that's a big thing for a linebacker.
All right, this may be recency bias on my part, since I'm talking about how he played aggressively in this game, and you talking about how good his eyes are. Who has been the second best player on Alabama's defense this year? Will Anderson, far and away number one. Am I off base to say that Henry has a shot at number two? Am I overrating him just because I'm giving him a shout out right now?
I mean, I would have said at the beginning of the year, whenever Drew Sanders came into play, I felt like he was playing like our second best defensive player. Then he got hurt. And if I had to, like, it's between like a couple of players. Like I would say Henry. If I had to pick one, I would probably go with Henry because he's making the most plays. I would say because he has the most tackles and he's always flying around to the ball. He's not a bad coverage linebacker. Christian Harris also has a case for the second best player. I would say Fedarian Mathis has a case.
Yeah,
he's always disruptive. Like, and like, I'm not going to say Kool-Aid's the second best, but when he's played in the last like month, he's played so well. Like they don't throw the ball towards Kool-Aid's way.
Yep. If I had to choose one, I'd probably go Fedarian Mathis. I think he's had a fantastic year. And maybe it's just I'm a little biased because I like him so much. He stayed around for so long, and he's really, I mean, he's played for a while. He's really stepped it up this year. He's been fantastic. Another one I'd like to throw out there is I think Brian Branch has had a fantastic year, playing that ever important star position for Alabama. I think he's been fantastic this year.
Yeah. Really good blitzer, helps on third down. You can trust him in coverage. You can trust him to get after the quarterback on 3rd and 10 when you really need to stop. Very, very versatile, Brian Branch. Skipping forward for another nice play by the linebackers here. There's Henry, number 10, Christian, number 8. Henry making the calls there. Both of them, again, just, there's not a whole lot of extra thinking. There's Brian Branch.
That's a great tackle.
Great play right there, huh? But if you just watch the inside linebackers, Henry's making the call and he's just going. You can tell. For some linebackers, they're better off not calling the plays, right? You want to take that off of their plate because it makes them think too much. With Henry, you can tell that's not the case. He's making the calls right here and he's just going. He's able to play fast while still having all the whole playbook in his mind, trying to get everybody lined up, trying to make any adjustments they need to make, which is really impressive. There aren't many guys who can do that. A lot of linebackers straight up just can't play Mike linebacker because that's too much for them to handle. But I think these plays that we're seeing from him really show that he is able to handle that. That's not too big of a responsibility for him.
And I will say, like, this is a shout out to another player. He didn't like make a play here, but Dallas Turner's played well ever since he was asked to play for when Drew Sanders got hurt. He's played very well.
Dallas Turner had a phenomenal game. That's something I was going to point out is, man, the future really looks bright for Alabama. I mean, I would argue their two best players are Bryce Young and Will Anderson, who will both be back next year. So many freshmen have made such a big impact. Dallas Turner was fantastic in this game. Kool-Aid had a great game. Ja'Cory Brooks obviously made the huge catch in the end zone to tie it up. Just a really awesome game for a lot of young guys.
The linebacker room next year is going to like Will Anderson, Dallas Turner, Drew Sanders, and then maybe if Chris Allen, because like people will forget, but Chris Allen led the SEC in tackles for loss last year, and he got hurt the first game. So like Will Anderson didn't lead tackles for loss last year. It was Chris Allen. So like if he were to return, like it's like that would be like the best outside linebacker room, like I don't know, like past 5-10 years maybe.
Yeah. I think that's an NFL caliber outside linebacker room. Honestly, I mean all those guys are going to be playing on Sundays for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy depth. Oh, with Dallas Turner too, real quick before we move on, you could argue that he is the one who forces the cutback on this play. I mean, Henry kind of gets up there pretty quickly too, but the way that Dallas Turner really crashes that tight end down, you could argue that definitely has an influence on the running back saying, crap, I got to cut this outside. And then Brian Branch is there to welcome him. Very, very friendly greeting there by Brian.
Yeah, great play. A great overall defensive play.
Yeah, definitely. That's good team defense. You hear Pete Golding or Nick Saban say that all the time. That's good team defense. It's not one guy getting sack hungry or anything like that. It's guys helping each other out. Dallas Turner and Henry To'oTo'o feed the running back over to Brian Branch, and he makes the play. Really solid team defense there. And then last one we'll touch on with the linebackers here. This one, I think, again, you see the aggressiveness by both. There's not too much thinking there, but I wanted to give Christian a shout out here too. He shows he's not afraid to kind of mix it up, go in there and take on blocks and, be physical inside the box. That's the thing for a lot of linebackers who get just washed out of the box. They can't get off blocks. I think Christian Harris shows that physicality here. He just makes the read and he says, I don't care if I'm going to, it's not too physical for him. You know what I mean? He goes in there and he's willing to mix it up. He's willing to go in there and make a tackle. He's not waiting for it to come to him, is another way to say it. He's going to go get it, which I really like.
Mm-hmm.
So I think to kind of wrap that little section up, both linebackers, I think, kind of catch some criticism from Alabama fans from time to time who want to see them make some more impact plays, but I've seen them improve over this year, and especially in this Auburn game. I'm sure the fact that it was Auburn had something to do with it, but overall, I just think they're playing more aggressively and they're playing faster, which is always what you want to see from the linebacker spot.
Mm-hmm.
So, overall, we talked about Will Anderson, we talked about Demarcco Hellams, the linebackers looking pretty good. Defense controlled the line of scrimmage really well. No major coverage bust. Really an all around. I think it's fair to say great. I thought the defense played great. I don't think that's an overstatement. I thought it was.
Oh no, that's an understatement. They played phenomenal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Came up absolutely huge when they needed to too.
Multiple times throughout the game. Like the offense put them in bad situations and they just bailed us out. Like there's been games the past few years where the offense has had to bail us out, like against Ole Miss last year and like games like that. But the defense definitely bailed us out in this game and in the LSU game too. They bailed us out both those games.
Yep.
And now we are going to go to examples of the offense not exactly pulling its weight and needing to be bailed out. So I think we all know by now that the offensive line is a little bit of an issue. Okay. So now, guys, let's talk through some of the struggles of the offensive line in this game. We're still in the first quarter here. What do we see on this one? We're going to go through some pass protection first, some of the sacks that Bryce Young took, and then we'll get into some run game. But what do we see on this one here?
So this one, basically, I see just about like every single offensive lineman missed their block here. It was not very good. But we see Kendall Randolph here gets beat pretty bad.
They're also asking Kendall Randolph to do a lot. He starts off the play blocking one guy, and then he sees another guy kind of cross, and he goes to him too because Damian George should pick up the guy Kendall Randolph had first. And whenever Kendall gets off that block, he's just free to go and hit Bryce. So they're asking a lot out of Kendall Randolph there.
Yep. And this is another example of Auburn doing a good job disguising the splits right here. I don't think Kendall Randolph definitely expects that guy to come on this play. And so as a result, when he chips the first guy, it's very hard to get back out to the other guy. But not just that. We got Ekiyor. We did the little thing where we kind of pulled Ekiyor to block on the left side. I'm not a fan of that at all. I guess I understand why we do it, but I think it's asking too much of Ekiyor. I think it's a tough ask for him. Damian George gets beat on this one as well. This is just not blocked well at all.
Yeah, just all around not good. There have been plays in the past where you've looked at the O-line and it's like, okay, this one guy just missed this block, or this one guy couldn't quite get there. But there were several plays in this game where it was just, all around the O-line just not hitting their spots that they needed to, just getting overpowered. And, part of that is Dalcourt was banged up with an ankle. And part of that is, Damian George didn't start the season as the starter, but I don't know, man, this is just not, it's week after week, just not what we're used to seeing from an Alabama offensive line.
Yep.
And we'll jump ahead here to a 3rd and 27. So we know it's probably a passing situation. which already helps the pass rush, but they get there pretty quick this time, huh? That's not what you want to see.
Yep. This
There's
is another.
Yeah, you go.
This is
Cole.
another. Sorry, this is another bad play by Kendall Randolph. Kendall Randolph does not even touch this guy. He goes straight at Bryce Young, and it's 3rd and 27. So the odds of us really getting a good play out of this are very good. But boy, this is. I mean, he gets there so quickly. Even if there was somebody open, there was literally no time for Bryce to try to find him.
So Kendall Randolph's this guy right here, offensive lineman / tight end, wearing 85, plays, you know, he's not a starter. He probably plays, I don't know, 10 to 20 plays a game based on the game plan. And like Cole said, you know, our goal here is never to assign blame. We're just looking at what happened in the game, but this is not a good rep by Kendall Randolph. He just, I don't know if he underestimates the guy's speed or what, but or
Yeah,
maybe
guy
it's something
just
with the snap count
untouched.
because he's kind of slow out of his stance there.
Yep.
But, oof.
Yeah.
Nothing Bryce can do there.
Yep, absolutely. I kind of have to agree with you, James. There, I think he might not know the snap count there. I mean, he's so slow getting out of his stance. I think it might be because he didn't expect the ball to get snapped.
Yeah.
Gosh,
Yeah,
he
I mean,
basically goes in a straight line right at Bryce, and that you
Yeah.
cannot let an edge rusher do that. Also, another thing I wanted to point out here is Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson has got to take that guy. I know he flips and tries to block somebody coming up the inside, but you got to take that guy. He's so close to Bryce at that point. It's kind of hard to tell, but you can see it looks like he's going to block 55 there, and then he shifts and tries to block somebody else. You got to get a piece of him there, I think.
yeah, that's a good point too. I mean, at that point, right where I paused it right here, I guess he's thinking Kendall Randolph is just going to like push 55 past Bryce. So he's thinking maybe that guy's not as big of an issue. And he sees, I guess, I can't tell what number this guy is here, but it looks like he's coming basically unblocked. But I mean,
Either way, like Bryce is getting sacked on that play.
yeah.
Especially 3rd and 27. I mean,
Yeah.
there was no chance.
Right there. It's pretty much a certainty that Bryce Young.
Yeah, like right there is the point where like Bryce is going down.
Yeah, it's basically over at that point.
Yep.
And again, it's not like you're really expecting a whole lot out of 3rd and 27, but you're expecting more than that, right? You're expecting your quarterback to have more than a split second to drop back and make a read.
Mhm.
So, and similar thing here, long 3rd down, obvious passing situation, 3rd and 16. And he's running for his life again.
Yeah, if you watch the replay of this play, like I would, even though like he's getting pressured the whole time, I think this play is on Bryce because Slade Bolden is wide open on this play whenever you get to the replay. But yeah, the pressure comes immediately. Bryce is stepping in the pocket and creates some time for himself. But now when I watched it live, I was just thinking that nobody was open on the play. But if you watch Slade Bolden, he's kind of running the bubble to start. No, he's the guy kind of running the bubble.
Oh, this guy.
That's Slade. Yeah, that's Slade. And from this is a good view of the play. And when Bryce rolls out, look at Slade Bolden right there.
Yeah, there is nobody there.
And like if he's like 5 yards from the first down, and like I don't think he would like get further than that because there's like a defender right there waiting on him, but like kind of like right in front of Jacory Brooks, but he would have got the first down, I would think. And Bryce is rolling out right to him. I mean, maybe Cole mentioned it earlier that he may think Slade was on the sideline and not like playing in the game because Slade's really close to the sideline. But if Bryce just lets his way, like that's a first down.
Yeah, that's what I tend to think. I kind of think Slade there is trying to hide from the defense by kind of positioning himself along the sideline, very close to the sideline on our side of the field, to where he kind of blends in with the people on the sideline. But I think he actually tricks Bryce here, which is that's what it seems like to me. It seems like he thinks Slade Bolden is just another guy standing over there out of bounds because he's so close. Kind of gets hidden and he doesn't see him.
Yeah. Plus, it's tough to really see things clearly and process things clearly while you're running to the side, you're running sideways, parallel to the line of scrimmage, and you got guys running at you. So yeah, he was definitely open, but tough to ask him to process all that and be able to throw the ball accurately while he's running for his life that way. But what really happens on the protection here? They kind of drop some guys and then bring other guys. So there's a little bit of confusion on who.
Kind of like, Chris Owens kind of getting beat on the play, like him, the guy pushing Chris Owens back is what caused Bryce to move up in the pocket. And then when he just rolls out, like he has like limited time to throw the ball. Whenever you roll like that, there's limited time with guys running to you. So
And he can't step up in the pocket because I think number 70, Javian Cohen, kind of gets beat here. By the way, that's Derek Hall. Derek Hall was incredible in this game.
Oh, Derek Hall was
one of the best
amazing.
players. He's one of the best players on the field.
Yeah, Derek Hall was
I hate
amazing.
to give credit to anybody that plays for West Georgia University. He was incredible all game long. That's him, number 29. And he beats Javian Cohen here pretty easily.
Yeah.
Number 99, he was always in the backfield the whole game.
Yep.
I don't know if I'll get a chance to mention this later, but so we're in the second half now, and Alabama's made some changes on the offensive line, right? So now this is Owens. They've made the change by this point, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
then-
that is Owens at right tackle. That's not Damian George. They made that change. George struggled in the first half. Owens comes back in there at right tackle. And one thing that I noticed is numerous times Chris Owens is just like getting super deep in his pass set. Like as soon as the ball snapped, he's like hustling to get back there. So I don't know if that was a coaching point at halftime to just say, hey man, just get as deep as you possibly can. We got to protect our quarterback. But I mean, you kind of see it from Evan Neal too, but I especially noticed it with Chris. Time and time again, once he got in the game in the second half, he was getting super deep on that pass set. And I don't think that's just his style or just the game plan, or, I think that's a halftime adjustment because they had such a hard time in pass protection in the first half. That's my guess. I don't know if y'all have any alternative theories on that, but that was my take.
I mean, I could definitely see that because Derek Hall was causing a lot of problems, and like Derek Hall's not going to line up on Evan Neal because they, if they line up on Evan Neal, you probably wouldn't heard his name a lot in the game. So,
right.
But I think it could have been because they saw how fast he was going. So if you like get back really fast, you're asking him to have to cut inside or like that's just a straight kind of like he just kind of tries to run around him and
Yeah.
Bryce is able to just move in the pocket. So maybe it is a halftime adjustment. I don't know.
Yep.
And also later in the game, they replaced Delcourt with Seth McLaughlin. That hasn't happened yet, but it does soon. Delcourt, like I said, still banged up with the lingering ankle injury, and they ended up making that change as well. So they finished the game with a different center and right tackle than they started with. So we'll see how that, I don't know that I really want to see either Darian Delcourt or Seth McLaughlin try to block Jordan Davis next week, but one of those things is going to happen. So we are going to see how that goes.
I think we need to put Evan Neal at center just for one game.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there.
Yeah, I'm kidding, of course.
I'm willing to try a lot of different things. But anyway, So we looked at some of the pass protection issues. Now we're going to look at some issues with the run game. So talk me through this one, guys.
It's just
it's just a problem all game. Like short yardage situations, they just get blown off the ball.
They really do.
Like everyone gets pushed back, I feel like there.
Yep. This is what I was mentioning earlier, where we saw a couple good examples of Will Anderson being the first guy off the ball, getting into the person blocking him's chest. This time, pretty much watch any Auburn defensive lineman, and it's the same thing. They're the first ones off the ball. They get into the chest of the offensive lineman, and they're able to drive them back. There's no hole there. There's no prayer of us getting this first down. Another thing I don't like, and we did this multiple times, this is the first example. Why are we taking this out of the shotgun? Like, does Bryce take snaps under center? Like, is he – I don't guess I remember him taking a snap under center.
I mean, he rarely does. Like, it's usually either pistol or shotgun. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the only times he does, I remember like a few fourth downs of the season, like a 4th and 1, they would put in like Kendall Randolph, they would put in like a fullback, and they would put Bryce under center, and they'd hand it off to Brian. Which don't know if that would have worked in this game because of how the blocking was going, but it's still, I think, a much better option than running. Because like I guess they run it from that look to give the thought to Auburn that they may pass the ball, but Auburn just smells that out from the get-go.
There's just
Go ahead, Cole.
Sorry, there's just about no way this play is going to work from pre-snap as well. There's so many people in the box here. I don't think this is a very good look. I also think Slade here has a free release, and we've seen it multiple times. And it's hard to tell because this linebacker kind of drifts up. Maybe he's going to drift over there, but there were a couple times where he had 3rd and 1. Slade's got a free release there, and I don't know. That could be a potential first down as well.
like an RPO to Slade, I think that would work.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I mean, he would only get like what 3-4 yards. That's a first down. So I mean,
Yeah.
That's
I'd
all you
take it.
need. You know, it's 3rd and 1. You don't need a big explosive play. I mean, look at that. The guy's 7 yards off the line of scrimmage. I'm glad you mentioned that, Cole, because that's exactly what I was going to say with the pre-snap look. You got 6 blockers. You got 8 defenders right here. I mean, that's a situation. We know Bryce has some freedom at the line of scrimmage, right? And we know even on the last play of the game, Metchie said Bryce told him, Metchie, what route to run. So we know Bryce has some freedom. Why not check out of this? You got 8 defenders and 6 blockers, and you got Slade over there with nobody within 5 yards of him on 3rd and 1. I don't know how that all works with having freedom to check out of plays and check into plays, but I would definitely like to see them get out of this play. Because, I mean, 1 second after the ball is snapped, look at that. I mean, there's 8 Auburn guys just right here on the logo. There's 8 Auburn players on the Auburn logo right there. You know, you got no chance. You got no chance.
And just about all of them are in our backfield as well.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
just about all won their block, and there was no prayer on that one.
Yeah. All right. Let's look at one more run blocking play. Our last run blocking play we're going to look at here. Again, another short yardage situation. It's kind of a similar formula for failure here. But what do we see on this one, guys?
Yep. I mean, kind of the same thing. I kind of made a note in our little document we have. It was kind of the same thing for all these plays. We're slow off the ball. And, I mean, I think Auburn obviously was fired up in this game, which was helping their D-line to be very, very good in this game. They were quick. We were slow, and they were just able to push us back on all these short yardage plays. I also don't think it helps. I mean, we ran it a ton, especially in these short yardage, especially when we had done it twice already, and then we tried to get on 4th and 1. I think they had seen this look. I think they kind of knew it was going to be a run play, and I think that helped them get off the ball quickly and get into the backfield.
Yeah, I mean, really, Javion Cohen kind of gets blown back into the backfield. Damian George, Kendall Randolph again, not giving you a whole lot. It's not just one guy. So, if any of the viewers out there are like, tell us who's the problem on the offensive line. It's not just one guy. It's easy to point to the center. It's easy to point to the right tackle, since both of those positions ended up, being switched out at points during this game. But it's not just those 2 spots. It's not even really just on the O-line. We've talked about in previous videos how, the receivers this year are not as good of blockers as they have been in past years. The tight ends are not as experienced, so it's a combination of a lot of different things. And I mean, I think the coaching has something to do with it. I'm not saying Doug Marone's a bad coach. I'm saying he's a guy who has not been at the college level for very much of the past 12 years. He's mostly been in the NFL. He was the coach at Syracuse from, I think, 2009 to 2012. He's been in the NFL ever since. So he's also not the youngest guy in the world, which isn't a deal breaker, but I think it's something that needs to be considered. I think there's an adjustment going from coaching 30-year-old men to 19-year-old kids, really. So, I'm not saying I don't think it'll get better. I'm just saying, there are a lot of reasons why the offensive line is not performing to the standard that we're used to seeing right now. Yep. They better get it done. They better figure something out quick, because Georgia is about as formidable of a D-line as you can find.
One thing I did want to mention here, and I kind of wanted to get you guys' input on this. Why do we bring Jameson Williams in motion just to run him back out to the outside? To me, that feels like it's just bringing another defender into the box, unless this is like an RPO or something. And if so, you got to think Bryce definitely makes the wrong read here. Do you see that? They kind of move Jameson Williams to the inside, almost to a tight end position, which leaves McCreary over there in the box, and that sure doesn't help matters. Like, they're not even having Jameson Williams block on this place. I don't understand what the point of that was.
It may be an RPO. I mean, if it is Bryce reading McCreary?
I feel like he is. That's where his eyes are kind of looking, and McCreary kind of stays with Jameson, so he hands it off.
Yeah.
That may have been an RPO, because Jameson runs a route. So I mean,
It could be. You're right. By the time he hands it off, McCreary's still on the outside of Jameson Williams. That's probably still going to be a tough ask for Bryce there. But yeah, I just think it puts another defender in the box. Like even if it was an RPO, like why do you bring him inside? Like you're still bringing another defender into the box there. Like if you do decide to run.
Right, and again, like we talked about with the last play, the pre-snap look, 5 guys on the line, 4 guys right here, both safeties up within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. You bring McCreary, you have 10 guys in the box.
10 guys in the box.
I mean, there's no way that you run. I don't know. It kind of looks like it could be an RPO, but I don't know, man. I just don't think you can have an RPO. I mean, let's boil it down to the basics here. A run-pass option. You have the option to run it or throw it, and you choose to run it into this.
Literally 10 guys.
Yeah,
literally.
Like, it's 10 guys right here, and you got 6 linemen, a tight end, and Jameson, who's not really a blocker. You know, it just, I don't know. The odds that this is going to succeed are very low right from the start. And
I mean, this would be a good play for like kind of like a pop pass to Latu. Like Latu acts like he blocks and then kind of like bails and goes straight.
yeah,
That'd be a good play for that because all those guys that are in the box, they all come up. No one of them backs out of it. Like Smoke Monday's in the middle, he comes up. So if Latu acts like he's going to block and then just breaks on the play, like that could be a really big play.
yeah, absolutely. But this one stalled, and that was the last play of the first quarter, coincidentally. But yeah, not good. However, it was not all bad. There were some very nice run blocks in this game. So we're not just here to be all doom and gloom, all right? So now we're going to skip ahead to the fourth quarter. Remember, we have Seth McLaughlin here at center now. We have Chris Owens in at right tackle. And now we're going to, we're going to show there is some positive to the O-line and the run blocking here.
By far the best run of the night.
Yep.
That's a big hole, man.
Yep, absolutely is.
Yeah, one thing I noticed is that later in the game, they started running to the left side compared to the right side, which don't know why they weren't doing that in the beginning, but running behind Evan Neal seems to work out pretty well.
Yep.
Like he makes a great block on the outside there, and then Brian just runs the hole.
Yep.
Yeah,
This is highlight. This is highlight tape.
I hope that's clear for the viewers. But Neal, I mean, he just pushes his guy way out of the way. Javian Cohen pushes his guy way the opposite direction. Even Slade getting in.
Yes. Slade makes a good block. That's a really good block by Slade, and he even lets go to prevent it being like a holding call. So,
yeah, that was by far the best run blocking we had all night. I mean, y'all mentioned it. Evan Neal, that's incredible by Evan Neal. That's a fantastic play. Cohen, that might have been his best play of the day.
Yeah, that was awesome by Cohen too.
Yeah, he moved him multiple yards. I mean, you saw it on the last play. Like, we were getting no push. There's nobody anywhere. Like it was 3rd and 1, and we had no linemen past the first down marker. But if you see it on this play, we got 3 or 4 guys 3 or 4 yards downfield. I mean, that's the mark of a good offensive line. That's a very, very well blocked play, and a great job by Brian Robinson. He even gets a couple.
I feel like Seth McLaughlin at the beginning misses his block. I think that's him because the guy does get the backfield right there. And, yeah, I think that was really the only bad thing about the play. Mm-hmm. Everything else was pretty good. Chris Owens does a double team with Ekiyor, and they get to the linebacker. It's a great run blocking play. Metchie running downfield to hit a block, so it's all good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, Brian Robinson got hurt on the play, so.
Oh, yeah, and that was by far. Here we go. This will be a really good view. I forgot we had this.
So it was Seth McLaughlin. Okay, that's what I was looking for.
Yep. Look at all that open space, man.
Look at that.
You can't ask for any better than that.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Love Jaylen Cohen here. Picking up this linebacker in space and just shoving him out of the club. After
what Brian had to deal with the first 3 quarters, he deserved to play like that.
Yeah, for sure. Now we'll skip ahead to, I'm assuming later on this drive, just a couple of plays later. And this one's, I mean, to me, without really taking the time to analyze all the blocking, that's good improv, good creation by Trey Sanders there too.
The great hurdle too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Looking like Najee Harris, huh? Nobody can do it like Najee.
Yeah, and the Notre Dame one was like probably the best throw I've ever seen. He jumps fully over a guy and lands on his feet in stride and just runs 50 more yards. I don't think I'll ever see that again.
That was insane.
Why
Yeah.
does Trey not want to follow Latu through that hole, though? I mean, that's a similar hole to the last play. Evan kind of seals the guy. Javion gets good push inside. Latu looks like he's going to take care of this guy. I wonder why Trey doesn't want to look at that.
That is curious because if he follows it, McLaughlin gets his block, and if Latu gets his block, he's in the second level. Because like McLaughlin goes to the linebacker, Latu pulls up, would have gotten that guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess he saw the cutback, which the cutback was kind of narrow, but he was able to find a way. But yeah, I don't know why he didn't follow Latu.
Cutback was open for sure, but I mean,
Yeah.
Trey Sanders to me seems like a guy that kind of struggles a little bit with speed anyway. I'd rather him just go straight on and build up that speed and try to get into the open field. He does make a fantastic play at the end of this. But I kind of agree. I think he needs to go to the left there. I think that's
And like Evan Neal made a good block too again. So I mean,
Made a fantastic block.
just keep running. Like keep running behind them until they stop him.
Yeah.
Like just keep doing
Yeah.
it.
The only thing I can figure that Trey is seeing is maybe he sees this guy. I can't tell what number that is. That looks like a 5 something, but it looks like he maybe kind of flashes to the inside of Javion Cohen, like right there. But really, Trey has kind of made his decision by that point.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, like he definitely made a decision at that point. He saw the cut back and went with it. But he follows lots. Like from what I see, maybe the Smoke Monday's in the middle of the field. But if he gets by Latu, that's at least an 8-9 yard gain.
Yeah, if not more.
Yeah, maybe he makes a play like that. He may score a touchdown.
I mean, what's nice about it is the running back has options. You know, having 2 good options versus having no good options like we saw with several earlier plays is encouraging. So it's not all bad there, especially the left side of the line. Had some impressive blocks there on the last 2 plays and some really nice blocks, as we'll see, coming down the stretch later in the game. So, you know, at this point sorry, go ahead, Cole.
Sorry, yeah. And we're talking about the left side of the offensive line on this play, and rightfully so, because they did a great job. But the right side does a really good job too, and that's why the cutback lane is open. I mean, I think this edge rusher kind of takes himself out of the play. I don't know if that looks like Hall. I think he kind of thinks it's a pass, kind of takes himself out of the play, but the guard there does a really good job, and he makes that hole for Trey.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good job by Ekiyor there. I mean, shoot, you got a big hole that Latu is kind of leading you through there, but then, you know, Owens using this guy's momentum against him, getting him to go farther upfield, and Ekiyor holding this guy inside. He's got 2 great options. You know, that's what you like to see as a running back. So very nice play there in the 4th quarter. That's what Alabama fans like to see, running the ball in the 4th quarter, right? Take the air out of the game.
Unfortunately, this one was not to take the air out of the game.
Yeah, not exactly. But, okay, so far to this point, we've kind of gone through different aspects of what we've, you know, different players, different position groups that we liked, that we didn't like, that kind of thing. But this was such a thrilling game. We also thought it would be cool to just kind of skip to the end of the game and just roll from like the end of the 4th quarter all the way through overtime. So at this point, instead of focusing on, you know, specific players or position groups, we're just going to skip ahead here a little bit to about the 4-minute mark left in the 4th quarter, and we're just going to kind of let it roll. We'll skip ahead because we don't want to be here all night, but you know, we'll just kind of go through the crazy finish to this game. So this was the first play I really liked there. Alabama's kind of backed up on their own goal line. There's a lot of trust between these guys on this throw because this is a long throw from close to the opposite hash. It's a risky throw because if McCreary's able to undercut that, it's literally game over. It's a 10-yard pick 6, and that's all she wrote. But it's a really well-placed ball by Bryce. It's a nice route by Metchie. You can tell they've repped that a ton at practice, and I just thought that was really, really nice. Got good protection there, and that ball's on the money. I hope you guys can see that. It may be a little fuzzy, but
I see it. It's a really great throw. Like across his body, across the field.
Yeah,
it's a great throw.
The zip there that Bryce has.
Perfect timing on it too. I mean,
Absolutely.
I think that's a good read by Bryce. It looks like he's in man there, and the comeback route is generally very good against man. But that's a really good job by McCreary there. Makes that a really tight window throw. Luckily, the timing was just fantastic.
Yep. Now this one is absolutely sick. So I'm going to roll it one more time from that angle, but then they have a wider angle that's really cool. So Bryce is pressured from the left side, has to find Metchie. And this is, I may actually be mixing this up with a different play, but Metchie just does, no, this is exactly the one I wanted. Watch what Metchie does here. This got me fired up when I was watching this. This is awesome. So Metchie's coming from the opposite side. It just shows how smart of a player John Metchie is and how he can help out his quarterback. This is him right here. He sees that he's basically running into a zone. He's on the route that he's going right now. He's covered. There's no chance that he's going to be open because this guy's here, this guy's here. He has no chance. But he has the foresight and the awareness to see what everybody else is doing. This guy's going deep. This defender is coming up this way. So Metchie says, I see my quarterback's in trouble. I'm going to change my route, go into a ton of open space, and help him out on third down. I just think that's absolutely awesome. And that's what Gary's showing there with that yellow route there. This is his original path, and then he cuts it into that open space to help Bryce out. That is awesome. Great play by John Metchie there.
And that to me feels like really, really good awareness. Like obviously you mentioned like seeing that is great, but to me, I feel like you have to know exactly what everybody's doing on the play there to know where the open space is going to be.
100%.
And I think a lot of times receivers don't know what everybody else is doing on the play. I'm sure sometimes they do, but yeah, that's a fantastic job by Metchie. Not to mention he roasts McCreary on this route. He burned him.
See you.
Definitely.
Yep, really good. So those are the main two from this drive. Is this when they have the
this is a drive where there's a 4th and 1. This is what the 4th and 1 drive.
Let's skip ahead to that one then, because I know that's gonna be.
Look at the third down play too. I just want to look at that one as well.
Oh yes, I do too.
So we'll skip ahead to the third down here, 3rd and 2. Inside 3 minutes left. We see Trey there almost get to the first down marker, just can't quite get there.
Yep.
What sticks in y'all's mind about this one?
Yep. This to me is one where I need a little bit more out of Trey. I feel like Brian Robinson gets a first down here. I feel like I just don't think he's quick enough to get – like I feel like if you can pause it, it's going to be kind of hard to pause it at the right time. But right about here, a little before that, like he's got to beat them to the first down marker. I mean, the way that's set up as Bryce throws the ball, I feel like Trey Sanders has got to beat them to the first down marker there. You got to get 2 yards there. And then when he gets hit, I mean, he doesn't fall forward. He falls backwards. And that's a huge play, obviously. There's 2 minutes, 44 seconds left. I think he's got to make that first down there. And I think Brian Robinson probably does. And that's something I might be a little bit worried about if Brian Robinson can't go on Saturday.
I feel like Bryce could have had Slade Bolden for the first down. He and Billingsley kind of run like inside crossing routes, and they kind of both got open. But Slade, if he would have stopped on a dime, he gets the first down easily. It's just like if you watch the play from the beginning, Slade is kind of open, like not right there, but like a little bit. So like Slade points and he does inside crossing route, just wide open.
Yep.
Like it's not going to gain a lot of yards, but all we need is like 2. That's all we need.
Yep.
I have to agree. I think that's a first down no matter which one of those you go to. I think you go to Slade or I guess that's Billingsley coming across.
Yeah, it's Billingsley. Billingsley would have got it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they run that little mesh there, which is designed to be a man coverage beater, and you have zone here. So I'm guessing that's why Bryce he probably crosses that off. He sees it's zone and says, okay, neither of those guys is going to be open, but
I mean, it's not a bad play by Bryce. Like he gives the ball to Trey, and Trey has it. Like I thought when I watched it live, I was like, oh, he's getting the first down. Then he just gets tackled short.
Yeah, like I said, when Bryce throws that ball, I mean, I think it's a first down. I'm sure he thinks it's a first down. I mean, he sees both of the guys on that side of the field. They're backpedaling immediately, which gives him a little bit of space. Another good play by Derek Hall there, by the way. He was all over the field.
Everywhere, yep. All right, and now this one's going to be in a lot of people's memories. We just pitch it out to Trey on the 3rd and 2, can't quite get there. 4th and 1, and we kind of stick with the same formula, short yardage. There's opportunities for something that I think would be more successful than what they end up doing, right?
Yeah, this is the one they called the timeout on.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Alabama fans hugging. It's so cold, and I'm so scared we're gonna lose.
That was me. That was totally me.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Here's the real play now.
So Auburn doesn't like one thing I noticed, they only have like 5 guys in the box to begin with the play. It's like from the beginning of the play, I'm confident that we get the first down because I think I counted 5 guys in the box. Well, excuse me, there's 6. I didn't see the guy on the end. There's 6.
Yeah.
And then the corner does blitz at the top. But at the beginning, there's 6 on 6 in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think the first 2 very much annoyed me because of what we talked about. Like, there were so many people in the box. But this one, we really seem like we have numbers here. We should be able to get this first down.
I think I saw it.
The
Sorry,
biggest
Cole.
of the 3? No, you're good. Obviously, this was the biggest of the 3. But this one, at least pre-snap wise, I don't feel like this is a bad idea by Bryce. Like, I don't feel like you should check out of this. I feel like that's probably the right call there is to run it. But we just get beat.
And also, like, watch Latu in the beginning. That corner blitzes, and he kind of, like, hesitates. Like, who should I go after? And then he kind of is late and goes after the linebacker. And I think the linebacker is the one that makes the play.
Yeah.
Like, if Latu makes that block, like, Trey Sanders ain't going far, obviously, but, like, he's going to get at least a yard.
Yep.
I don't think that corner's going to come down and make that play. Like, if Latu fully blocks that linebacker, I think Trey Sanders still makes the first down.
Yep.
Yeah. So you're talking about this guy, right? 31.
Yeah, right there. So, like, Latu, I think, is going to have him. And he sees the corner blitz. And he kind of, like, is deciding, oh, crap, which one should I go for? And then it's kind of too late. And then, yeah.
Yeah. We talked about earlier. Javion Cohen had a couple great blocks, but right here he gets worked on this play. It looks like he gets pushed back into Trey Sanders, which ends all of his momentum right there. I think that could be the difference between a first down and not a first down. He gets pushed back immediately off the ball, and I believe he runs into Trey Sanders. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Javion right here. Hopefully that shows up in the video, but he's right here, the left guard, and just isn't able to get any push. Just kind of gets, you're right. He just kind of gets pushed back into Trey there, and then the linebacker 31 kind of has a free path toward Trey Sanders as well. So I don't know. Again, it's not just one thing. It's multiple people not executing at the level they need to. So
this was a big time. We needed to execute here.
Yeah. But luckily, as we'll see, Jordan Battle makes a very heads-up play here in a couple of plays that gives Alabama a little bit more breathing room. So there we're still reviewing the 4th down. So now jumping to Auburn's first down of the ensuing drive. Really nice play by Jordan Battle here. There's some penetration in the backfield by Will Anderson, but Battle, I think, does a nice job recognizing what's going on. Is, to me, the right mix of patient and still aggressive. He's not over pursuing anything. He's just on the track, keeping his eyes on his gap. And then once the opportunity presents itself, he strikes there. So I thought that was good. He didn't overcommit to anything, but he wasn't passive either. So that was a really solid play by him, and brought up 2nd and 11 here. You guys have any?
Great play by Will Anderson. I hate to pick on 47 again, but it wasn't really his fault. I think he's trying to get for Battle, but he realizes Will Anderson can make the play, so he goes after Will, and that leaves Battle kind of one-on-one with Tank. So
yeah, with that many white jerseys there's just not much you can do. You got Job here, you got To'o, you got Mathis, Smith, Will Anderson, Byron Young, Jordan Battle going up with a clear lane at Tank Bigsby. This play was doomed pretty much from the start.
And this is I feel like this is a fantastic job by the defense of playing together. Like, you see Job's definitely got the corner. He's not going to let him get the corner. Will gets between the 2 blocks and pushes him into the backfield, and then Battle's got the inside. Like, that's a great job. And then To'o's following in case somebody misses a tackle.
Yep.
Good job. Everybody, I know we mentioned gap integrity earlier. That's a great job to me. It seems like a great job of gap integrity there, everybody.
Yeah, for sure. And then that brings up a 2nd and 11 that all the viewers will remember very well for another great play by Jordan Battle.
most important play of the game.
Yeah, this one was huge. And what's ironic is I think Battle is actually the contain guy. So he has a little screw up here at first. His job is to not let Tank Bigsby get outside of him, and he actually does. But then everybody immediately forgets about that little mistake because of how heads up of a play this is to get him out of bounds and save Alabama 40 seconds on the clock. Absolutely huge.
Definitely.
Yep. And this is one where, I mean, I feel like as Alabama fans, we're not fans of Gary at all. We feel like he's a little biased against Alabama. But I feel like in this play, I feel like he's a little too hard on Tank Bigsby here.
I felt like he was too. Like, I mean, I feel like Tank was trying to win the game. Like, he saw an opening and he took it and was 1 yard short. I mean, if I was an Auburn fan, I wouldn't be that mad at Tank.
Yep. If you watch here, I think Tank thinks he's got Battle beat, and I kind of think he does too. But Battle just makes a fantastic play. I mean, right there, right at about the 43-yard line, I think he thinks he can turn on the Jets and beat Battle, gets the first down. And if he makes that play, it's over. We got no chance. The game's over at that point. So that's a huge play by Battle. Obviously, he does a great job of not just getting to Bigsby, but using his momentum well to drag him out of bounds. It's just an incredible play by Battle. Like Thomas said, I think we all agree this is the play of the game. Like the Brooks catch in the end zone is massive. Obviously, the last play of the game is obviously another huge one. I think this is the play of the game.
Yeah. After this play, Auburn had a 99.8% chance to win the game according to FPI. Right before this play, this third down.
And we'll see how that turned out. Obviously, what's great about close games like this is every play is a game-changing play, right? Like if Auburn converts this third down, poof, game over, and everybody forgets about what an impressive play Jordan Battle just made. But as we see here, what eventually does happen makes everything that happened before it matter even more, so much is riding on every play. And that's what's so fun about close games late in the game, especially in a rivalry matchup like this. So then we go to
great play by Byron Young and great play by Henry To'oto'o. That's the two main ones. And Jordan Battle is also there to make the play too, but definitely Henry and Byron Young deserve a lot of credit there.
And yeah, Byron Young's so quick off the ball on this play. It's a great job. And To'oto'o, we talked about his eyes earlier. He diagnoses this one immediately and gets through that gap. You see it, great angle there. 47. Again, we're putting on that guy. He has no chance here. I mean, even if he does happen to get To'oto'o here, like Byron Young's making that play, Jordan Battle's making that play. This is just a great job by everybody.
Great overall defensive play.
Yeah, absolutely. So the defense gets the stop, but now they give the ball back to the offense, and the offense, which has only scored 3 points to this point, has got to go put it in the end zone. And oh, by the way, this punt ends up being downed at the 3-yard line. So now they got to go 97 yards. They got to score a touchdown, which they haven't done all game. And they have a minute 35 with no timeouts.
Who would have thought Auburn would make a bunch of crazy clutch special teams play in an Iron Bowl? Definitely not me. Never could have seen it.
I certainly couldn't have seen it coming.
I mean, I'll admit at this point I was not confident. That's another great play by Derek Hall too. Just
that dude was all over the field.
If Bryce holds on that ball for like one more second, that's a safety and that's game over.
Yeah. I think it was around this time that I texted my mom and said, quote, "This game is over."
Yep.
So I regret that one now. Call me a fake fan if you want. I know I'll catch some flack for that, but yeah, I also was not too confident at this point.
Yeah, that's me right there. That's me right there. And I think this play is kind of more the same, like a bring the blitz. He has to throw it kind of quick and just,
Yep. This is another not very good block on the edge by Chris Owens. He kind of gets beat pretty bad here, it looked like. Is it
Auburn also brought a blitz too, do they not? I mean, they brought 5. And we had 6 people for 5. So, I mean, that's third down, my bad. And that's a great play. That's a great play by Bryce, step up in the pocket, and Metchie's ability to get open in this game was very critical down the stretch.
Let's give some credit to Trey Sanders on the blitz pickup here too.
Great blitz.
That absolutely saved Bryce and being able to get that ball off. I mean, that's another game-changing play. That's the kind of thing that goes unnoticed, but man, that's key right there.
Absolutely. And this is one where, man, this is like there are so few quarterbacks that can make that play. We're so lucky to have Bryce Young. Like, I don't even think as good as Mac was, and even maybe Tua, like, I don't think they can make that play. Like, that's just a fantastic job, feeling the pressure, being able to throw on the run and making such an accurate throw.
I think that's the thing. Accuracy on the run, like Mac and Tua are fantastic. Do not misunderstand me on that. But I don't think either of them has the arm talent that Bryce does to be able to make that play on the move. And now they're driving. Once they get that third down, they're in business. And
that, in my opinion, is one of the best throws of the drive. Like, you could argue it's the best. Like, when you watch the angle of it from I don't know how he put that on the money. And that's also Ja'Cory Brooks, who's a true freshman, being asked to be put in this game in the fourth quarter of an Iron Bowl. He hasn't gotten a lot of playing time at all. And I'm credit to him for stepping up big. But that's just a
route by him too. I mean, this is not a simple route. This is not a slant or whatever. He stems it inside and then goes back to the outside, and you can tell they've repped this in practice and have good chemistry. But he's exactly where he needs to be, and Bryce just puts it on the money. That's awesome to see two young players be on the same page to that extent in a key moment like this.
That is an absolute NFL throw right there. Incredible job. And a good job by Ja'Cory Brooks there, using his body, being physical, going up to get that ball.
Yeah.
And good job by Bryce. He had 2 runs on this drive, and those are critical plays. Like, to get just any yardage is always critical on drives like those.
And to get out of bounds.
Yeah.
It's a great job.
Second down here. We're inside a minute. Protection held up actually pretty well that time. Targeting Brooks again down that sideline.
And he was open too. It's just he was just out of bounds. But
Yep.
Just couldn't quite get the ball.
Yeah, the foot's just. 2 yards to the left. He made that's a catch.
That's another pretty good throw by Bryce there too. I feel like Ja'Cory Brooks played a really good game, but I feel like he's got to have better situational awareness there. He's got to know where his feet are. I feel like he could have caught that ball.
Yeah, I was looking back to see if maybe the ball was later than it should have been by Bryce, but it didn't. It seemed like it was out on time. I think that is just a Brooks thing. He's got to be aware of where he is on the field.
It would have been a tough catch. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I feel like you got to make a better effort than that.
Will Anderson pumping the guys up in the timeout. Gary crapping on Tank Bigsby a little more.
Yep.
I think he said it like every other play. Like he had to make it a point to mention that Tank Bigsby ran out of bounds every single play. He said Alabama wouldn't be in this position if Tank didn't run out of bounds. It was something like that every play.
And now the pressure off the edges. Really both
Great
edges.
play by Derek Hall again.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they wanted an intentional grounding there, but Slade was in the area. But
Actually, I actually don't think that's Hall coming off the edge there. That's number 99.
Moultrie here off.
Oh, my bad. That's my bad.
Against Owens. And I'm guessing, is it Hall? No, it's not Hall against Neal. Either way, you get pressure off both edges. Bryce does a nice job of stepping up, just can't quite get away from it. And I agree that should not be grounding. I think Slade is close enough to give him the benefit of the doubt on that.
And then coming up to another like really big play. Like every play at this point mattered, and this next one was really, really big.
Yeah, absolutely. 4th and 7, obviously, game couldn't be more on the line than it is right now. Billingsley does an awesome job, really good route. And the ball, this ball has to be out on time, because if not, then Billingsley's, running into the bench and has no time to corral that ball. But Bryce does a nice job. You can see the arm talent, see the zip that he gets on that ball, and it gets there just in time. But props to Billingsley. I thought to myself at this point, I was a little surprised that Billingsley was the guy they wanted to go to with the game on the line, but he executed. He did a job on that.
Yeah, he's had a very up and down year, so it was good to see him make this play.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and good to see that we haven't lost confidence in him. Going to him in this play, that surprised me too, but I'm glad, because we saw last year that dude can take over a game if he can get. I feel like he's had a few confidence drops this year. I feel like if he can get that back, he could be a fantastic player for us. Also, that's a sneaky tough throw by Bryce there. That's a pretty tight window throw, and you got to keep him in bounds. That's a great job.
Yeah.
So I remember this play.
The end zone and
Bryce Young throws it deep, and Ja'Cory Brooks kind of runs like you see Bryce is kind of frustrated there because he thinks Ja'Cory Brooks is going to go deep, and Ja'Cory Brooks kind of stops kind of around the 20 or so, or the 15, kind of in the middle, and he's expecting Ja'Cory to go deep, and that's the play they come back to on 3rd down, which ends up being the touchdown play. So obviously they saw something there.
Yep. And kind of watching that, I think Brooks, I feel like Bryce makes the right read there. I feel like Brooks has a good chance to beat that guy deep. And especially with 33 seconds in the game, I think it's definitely worth taking the shot there. I'm kind of surprised Brooks broke that one back out to the outside.
Again, protection breaks down. Bryce just has to get that one out at the last second. I think they wanted a grounding on that too, didn't they?
I mean, they probably did. Like every throw that was incomplete was probably a grounding,
Yeah.
according to a lot of people.
But again, I mean, people might criticize Bryce looking at his stat line. I think it was like, what, 25 of 51?
Yeah,
Or something like that.
25-51.
But I mean, plays like this show, like what is this man supposed to do?
Yeah, but I think he's got to see Trey Sanders there.
Yeah,
That is
that's
true.
But that's
Trey Sanders does. Like Trey Sanders can
That's
even
a
get out
lot
of bounds there
space.
too.
Yep.
Like he can get out of bounds, like run straight to the sideline, get past the 20. I think he could do that.
That's a lot of space.
by that point, he's kind of come off a Trey though. Like, I don't know. I don't know that he's really going to go. He's kind of moving to his right and look back to the left at Trey, and nobody's.
I
really
think he
looking
also feels like he
downfield.
needs to make a play downfield at that point. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. And there's no doubt. And you do, but it seemed like everybody's dropping back and there's so much space upfield, not upfield, but not downfield either. Close to the quarterback. There's a lot of space. I feel like you got to dump that ball off.
Now, this is the play that'll end up in the tradition video, of course, but
Right.
yeah, but like just Bryce plays before he saw it, goes back to it, and a great adjustment by Ja'Cory Brooks.
That's the biggest thing to me, man. For a true freshman to be able to make that adjustment over the shoulder and catch that right by the sideline, so good. So good.
It's incredible. It really is. I mean, that's such a good job by Ja'Cory Brooks there. And I mean, just an incredible throw by Bryce Young. I mentioned NFL throw earlier. That is absolutely an NFL throw. That's incredible.
Absolutely.
And also, I just now noticed this, but he also had Billingsley like wide open in the middle. That would have been a touchdown. I didn't notice that live, but if you go back a little bit, watch Billingsley. Look at that.
Yeah, he did right up the
Yeah,
seam.
look at that.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough throw, though. You got that safety kind of.
That is
Learn
true. It is true. Yeah. I just now noticed it because I was, I've always been, just watching the play for the Ja'Cory Brooks catch, but yeah.
Yep. He's definitely got some space there, though. It's possible. But man, that's such a good job by Ja'Cory Brooks.
I mean, just look at that. He literally, that's such a hard play to make, to switch and turn your head and track it, go in the opposite direction. So good. I cannot overstate how impressed I was by that. True freshman.
That's an NFL catch too. He got 2 feet down.
Yeah.
Yep. And another
now
thing.
We're going into OT. We don't need to show the extra point, so we'll skip ahead.
I was a little nervous for this extra point. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think Will Reichard deserves a lot of credit in this game. I thought he played really well. I was very nervous.
Two very clutch kicks,
especially with the holding issues we had earlier in the game. That was a great job. I was very nervous going into both of those kicks.
Yep. So now we're in overtime. We're trying to
run the ball to the right side
here a little bit. We don't want this video to end up being too long, but there were a lot of key plays in this game. So we want to kind of go through what all happened and how it got to the point it did.
I think this play up is a great play by Bryce Young. He steps up in the pocket, throws it kind of across the field to Metchie. I believe this is that play.
Yeah, I think you're right. Oops, skipped ahead there a little too
and
much.
Just a great throw.
It's a good throw.
I mean, this might be his best throw of the game. Just to throw it that accurately on the move, to keep your eyes downfield.
And Bryce takes a hit too. Like he takes a big hit from what I just saw.
This angle shows it really well. He's
Yeah,
moving around,
steps up in
keeps
the
his eyes
pocket.
downfield.
That's a good hit.
Yeah, that was
Is
awesome.
that 29 again that made that play? I couldn't tell.
I think it may have been, yeah.
Let's
look, we run to the left side and we get 6 yards.
Yep.
And Gary
It's
gave a
almost
little
like-
love to Javion Cohen on this, which was well deserved if we watch him here. Back it up one more. Javion Cohen right here, the left guard, does a really nice job getting.
It's a really good block. It's a really good block.
Yeah.
Yep.
Running to the left side, it works.
It does.
Didn't work on 4th and 1 though, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Didn't work. I mean,
And then I guess Auburn expected us to run it again, but they got a good push.
yeah.
Yep. Another nice play by 99 there. He had a fantastic game as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, 99 was always in the backfield. It felt like every play. Like he was playing great.
I don't know if McLaughlin gets off this double team a little too quickly and kind of hangs Ekior out to dry.
Yeah, he kind of like doesn't get he helps, so he doesn't give him too much help, but
Yeah. Now 3rd and 4, obviously a key play, and Slade.
Great
comes
play by
in
Bryce. He
clutch.
notices that as soon as Slade turns around, that ball's already getting thrown.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was my big thing. Awesome anticipation by Bryce.
Perfect
I mean,
time. Yep.
That ball's close to getting there too fast, to where it's like right up on Slade when he turns around, and it almost surprises him. But yeah, just throws it. Bryce throws it with some zip. Great anticipation, great placement, all around. Really, really impressive.
Yeah, that's a tight throw there. I mean, that has to be perfectly timed. If you're even a little bit late on that, that's not just a pick. Like that could easily be a pick 6 and game over. That's a
Yep.
great catch by Slade too. He gets a lot of hate. I'm glad he made a big play in this game.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So Alabama goes up by 7, and now if they can just get a stop, this game will only go into 1 overtime, and we can.
If they can just get a stop on their quarterback that currently has 1 leg.
Right. Chris Owens firing the crowd up there. Now this one, I want to point something out. So this play may look familiar.
Oh,
Let's just ignore that play by Brian Branch, that penalty there. This play may look familiar because Auburn ran this exact same play earlier in the game. Same 11 guys, same 11 spots on the field, same 11. Everybody does everything the same. So this is the play where I was talking about Hellams earlier, and Hellams and Toho made a nice pass breakup over the middle. It's the exact same play. Auburn's running the exact same play. Toho again is running with the running back just like he did earlier. And I think the first quarter, again, he realizes that slot receiver is going to come in on this slant, and he's going to go and try to make a play. He's going to break this up. He knows TJ Finley threw it to this guy last time around, so I'm just going to go make a play on it again. But it actually burns him in this case because Finley doesn't throw that. He's got some pressure, and he takes his check down, the running back, who's the guy that Toho was going to have in man coverage. So this is kind of where do your job and film study and, route recognition clash, because, Henry does a really nice job recognizing what's going on, remembering what happened before, but it kind of burns him because he doesn't stay with the guy that by the book he's supposed to be on. So I just thought that was interesting. I'm never gonna, crush a defender for good route recognition and remembering a play that he's seen before. But in this case, it was kind of just unlucky that the ball ended up going to the guy who was supposed to be Henry's guy. And then Brian Branch, he actually didn't get called for this, but I think they were saying on the broadcast that he should have, because the ear hole counts the same as a face mask.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that. Like, I've never seen that face mask like that before.
Yeah,
We saw it twice in this game.
Yep, never seen it before and happened twice. Yep.
Who was it? Was it Battle? I don't remember. But it got called that time. It didn't get called this time, so I don't really get that. But
That was a great push by the defensive line. Like, they were all back there within like a second. Like, Will Anderson,
oh my gosh.
like, if I don't know who the running back was right there, but if he doesn't get that block, Will Anderson is just straight right on to TJ Finley.
He does a good job. It's a good job by that running.
It's Tank Bitsby. That's who it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Part of that is it's a screen, and like that's why they get such good penetration. But Will almost blows that up. That you're right. It's a good job by Bigsby. They kind of underestimate how much they're actually allowing Will Anderson to get in the backfield there, and it almost costs them. But yeah, that's a nice pickup by Bigsby there to kind of save the screen.
Also smart by Auburn. They realized the running game wasn't working, so they opened up this overtime with 3 straight pass plays.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then they're
easy route combinations as well. Easy throws for TJ Finley.
Yeah, not to try to make him force a throw. Like, all the throws were kind of open. And I think he hits Kobe Hudson on this play, number 5. I think it's who he goes to. Just a simple inside crossing route.
Yep,
Yeah.
Another easy throw. Very tough to cover that one. That's the same little match play we saw Alabama run earlier. And it's just almost impossible to cover those perfectly.
Yeah, and this time Alabama's running man, so it works exactly how Auburn's hoping. I mean, this is Battle here in man coverage on him. And you can't play it much better from Battle. I mean, he recognizes what's going on. He kind of bubbles out over it and, does as well as he can do. But that, that's just a good play to beat that coverage that Alabama had on that one. This is a good view of it here. Battle sees the other guy coming there, knows he's not going to be able to have a clear shot at it, and just, really does a nice job to kind of hustle and prevent the touchdown there.
Auburn tries to hurry up here, but Alabama's not having any of it.
Yeah, did not work. Who was that? I think that was
Is that Demarcco?
I think that was Demarcco. That was another play I had written down.
Yeah, that's
Love the fact
Demarcco
that
and
they
Henry,
going
but
in there
Demarco
and
was
not
there
afraid
first.
to take a hit.
Yeah. That's a great play. And I don't think they make the play again on 2nd and goal, but I mean, it's another run play that Alabama just stuffs. Bryce Young again. That's just incredible. And Will Anderson's 5 yards into the backfield.
Yep.
Yeah, this was really good by Byron Young. It seems like I think this guard is going to go pull and block Will. And I think Byron Young recognizes that he's going to have a big gap here. And it almost looks like he kind of rushes as far away from this tackle as possible. I hope that'll show up. But Byron Young sees that gap and rushes really hard inside to try to evade that tackle. So I think that's a heads up play by him. And obviously it pays off there.
A great play again by the defense.
I think that was a terrible play call as well, by the way. I feel like our defensive line has done a fantastic job of getting pushed. They literally lined up with all 10 people on the line there. Like, we knew they were going to run. We've stopped them in the run all game. I don't like that play call at all.
Yeah.
And I thought on this coming up play, like we defended it well. It's just a really good catch. Like, you can't beat the good catch like that.
There's nothing more Branch can do on that ball. That's just that's Auburn Jesus is what it is. That's all. That's a good throw by TJ Finley for sure. But man,
that's a great
catch.
Here. It's a great catch. Like,
I mean,
oh my gosh, that is so good by that dude.
Holds on to it.
I think this is really good by Kool-Aid too, because Kool-Aid doesn't really have anybody to cover on the play. So he's dropping back because 11 goes inside and gets picked up. So Kool-Aid says, okay, there's nobody to my side. I'll go help out. And Kool-Aid is super close to being able to make an incredible breakup there on a play that may not even be his assignment. It just happens that Finley kind of fires it in there just a split second before Kool-Aid can get there and allows the guy to make an incredible catch.
Yeah,
that is just an incredible catch by number 40 there. That's so good.
I mean, can you imagine how legendary that catch is if Auburn goes on to win this game?
Yeah.
That goes into Auburn lore easily.
Or better yet, Alabama kicked a field goal in the first drive, and that's what ended the game.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That would be replayed over with a kick six.
Another clutch job there by the Auburn special teams. The backup kicker there knocking down that extra point.
I think this first down play is I think if I remember correctly, this is like my favorite play of Will Anderson of the night. And I'm picking on 47 again. I feel bad because I keep picking on him, but this is I feel like the best play Will has all night. Well, yeah, 47. I think it's the Nets play. I'm thinking I'm gonna play ahead. But Josh Jobe makes a really good play to kind of push Tank outside, and then we're already there.
Yeah, Auburn runs two really similar plays back to back here, but even though, I mean, there's tons of Alabama players there, so somebody was going to make that play, but I like the way Jobe plays this. He's so aggressive hitting number 0 there, who's blocking, that it does kind of force, I guess that's Bigsby, to kind of hesitate and force him to cut outside. So even if Jobe didn't have all that help, that I think that's well played by him.
Mm-hmm.
Watch Brian Harsin on that. Did you see that? He's so devastated. Gosh, you got to be kidding me. He's like doubled over in pain at that one.
I think this is the play that I was looking forward to.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but Will Anderson kind of stuffs this play up and kind of forces the pulling guards to not make it there on time, and Christian Harris just blows this play up. So I think this is a 47 again. I hate to pick on him. But yeah, kind of he gets pushed in the backfield by Will. It disrupts the pulling guards, and Christian Harris makes a really good play.
And again, that's a really tough ask. Is that asking a tight end to block Will Anderson?
They kept doing it all game, so they kept doing it all game. So
yeah, it doesn't make much sense to me. But it's a great play by Will. Obviously, a fantastic play by Christian Harris as well.
Yeah, we've seen similar plays from Demarcco we talked about earlier had a similar play. Jordan Battle made a similar play at the end of regulation. I mean, multiple guys. You can just see them getting more comfortable in their reads and just, not sitting there and hesitating. They're just reading it and going, which is really good. I think we had a request to break down that play too, so I'm glad we got to that one.
Yep. And we talked about To's eyes earlier. That's a great job recognizing that play by Christian Harris.
Yep, 100%. Now 3rd down and 13. There's not a whole lot in the playbook. Alabama absolutely brings the house. I think TJ Finley's got to run here. He's got to take off. You got man.
I mean, he is hurt though. That's his thing.
Yeah.
Like
That's
he
true.
can't
That's
do
true.
much.
I wouldn't
And that's
agree.
that's also a great play by Daniel Wright coming from like 10 yards ahead of the field and running down and making this play.
Yeah, very well done by him. Good
Yep.
call on Finley being hurt. I that slipped my mind.
Yeah.
He's clearly hurting right there.
And at this point, I thought we had we had won the game because Auburn had their backup kicker.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, he's not making a field goal this far. They have to go for it on fourth. And then he comes in and absolutely drills this field goal. And I was like, whoa. I was just kind of shook after that.
Yep. Another absolutely clutch special teams play by Auburn.
Let's look at this coverage downfield. And that's pretty dang good. I mean, you bring 5 or 6 guys and get pressure on the quarterback, and that's the coverage that you're giving him downfield.
That's
not,
great.
Not much that TJ Finley could do on that one. Really nice.
They're all in one-on-one with very little safety help too. That's a great job.
And then it's just a running into the
Overall
kicker
coverage.
penalty, but yeah, no big deal.
Glad it wasn't roughing.
Yeah, if it was roughing, that's a first down. So
Yep.
Now we go to Alabama in the bottom of the second overtime. Trying to
and
hit
he
that
has them, but
sideline.
it's just like it's a hard throw to ask.
Yeah.
Yep. Tough throw. We saw the
Metchie.
same route earlier. It was a little bit better timing. That one's almost impossible. That's a tough catch for Metchie to make. Looked like the timing was a little bit off there. Made it a little tougher.
Yeah. Once Jameson went out of this game, Metchie, oh my gosh, you can't have more of a go-to guy than Metchie. I mean,
Yeah.
it felt like he got 15 targets in the second half and overtime alone.
There's also a great play on Metchie too. He gets hit kind of like 2 yards downfield and is able to get 3 extra yards to set up a manageable third down.
He's tough, man. He's tough. I really like Metchie.
I do too.
I
He's
feel
not
like
quite-
coming
he's
into
not
this
quite
season. Go
The
ahead.
athlete, I don't think he's quite the pro prospect that we've had come through here the last couple of years, or even Jameson Williams. I think Jameson Williams is a little bit better. But boy, he is awesome. He's so much fun. And he's the kind of player that like you always want to have. He's so tough. He makes big play after big play after big play.
Yeah.
And then we go back to Metchie again. I don't know he was kind of too close to the sideline in my opinion for this play, but I don't know. I don't know what they were trying to do here.
And Metchie seemed to think that coverage was by McCreary was a little too physical also, which we don't really get a good view of it. But
I don't think they showed the replay. So
yeah, I don't think they do. But Metchie gets all 3 targets there. I'd like to see him spread it around a little more, but the quarterback's also got to throw it to a guy he can trust. And Metchie's the best option they had at this point.
yeah.
Mhm.
This is a very clutch kick by Will Riker. This is kicks that Alabama kickers miss ever since Saban's been there. This is
I
a
was
kick they always
having
miss.
Papanastas flashbacks at this point.
I was having Papanastas vibes.
I was
him.
having
having
Joseph
Bolvis
Olavis
vibes from
flashbacks.
2019.
Olavis was the flashback I remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
Happened in Auburn. It was like a 30-yard field goal and doinks off the upright.
Cade Foster against LSU in 2011. Yeah.
Yeah,
And he
Adam
nailed
Griffith
it.
against Auburn. Like the past 2013, 2017 Iron Bowl or 2019 Iron Bowls ended on field goals at Alabama best.
Yep.
Now this is the
Now-
overtime where you do the 2-point shootout.
Yep.
So Alabama gets
Now
the
Will
20
Riker's
first.
day is done. He can't save us again. So now we got to get
Auburn calls a timeout on this play, so you can skip ahead. They call it
Yeah,
timeout.
now this is interesting. I did want to note this because Metchie motions and you see what Alabama's trying to do. They call a timeout, and then whenever that happens, you always wonder, are they going to go with the same play? Normally they don't because you don't want to give the defense a look at what you're going to run, but they actually stick with the same play. So they clearly have a lot of confidence in this. You have Metchie motion across. We don't know if it's going to be the same play, but it is the same formation, right? So, and then what you're going to see here is Slade and Trayshawn Holden really are kind of just getting out of the way for Metchie. Their job is to manipulate the zone defenders and kind of clear that space for Metchie. And again, like the touchdown to Slade in the first overtime, that's just a bullet by Bryce. It's exactly where it needs to be. It's well timed. That's just perfect. You cannot, it doesn't get any better than that.
It's a good overall play.
Absolutely.
No.
High window throw. Great timing. Great job. Great catch by Metchie too. Going over the middle.
Yeah. So Alabama takes the lead again there. And now we go to the bottom of the third overtime. And this one, 47. We've given him a hard time. This is going to be his time to shine.
Yeah, I've given him a hard time, but he at least gets his moment.
He's right here. He's an eligible receiver on the end of the line of scrimmage. They're going to tell him, just back up. Look like you're pass blocking. Now,
It's a great play by Auburn because when I watched it live, I thought Dallas Turner was getting a clean hit on TJ Finley. I'm like, oh, this game is over. And then he makes the
Yeah.
pass, and I saw Kool-Aid kind of got off the block, and I was like, okay, this game's over too. But then it just happened so fast.
Yeah, I really think it's a good play by Kool-Aid. I think it's good recognition by him. He's kind of quick to recognize what's going on, and does a nice job ducking under the block. Just can't quite get there. Even though he couldn't make the tackle, I still like the recognition and the ability to get off that block.
Probably should have been a block in the back there on number 70 on Kool-Aid as well.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that. Yeah.
I didn't notice it originally, but watching it here, he definitely gets him in the back there.
Yeah, you got a case for it. I think he gets a little bit of that.
I mean, Alabama gets all the calls though, so that doesn't count.
That's true. That's a good point. One thing I did want to mention, I forgot to mention it earlier, and I saw on Twitter where somebody said, you had this great 2-point conversion play. You probably should have used it at the end of the first overtime. And I agree. I thought the same thing at the beginning of overtime. I thought if Auburn got a chance, they needed to go for 2, because I think the momentum was starting to slip away with that big drive, and then we scored immediately in the first overtime. I thought they should have gone for 2 there. I'm very happy they didn't. And obviously there's no guarantee it works out the same way at the end of the first overtime. But I feel like, especially with a backup kicker in, like there's a chance that goes wrong anyway. I thought they should have gone for 2 in the first overtime.
That's a good point. So they tie it up in the third overtime. We go to the fourth overtime. The first overtime game in Iron Bowl history goes to 4 overtimes. That's unbelievable.
Mhm.
And now this right here. On one hand, I think this is stupid to make TJ Finley roll out on a bum ankle, on a bum leg.
Yeah,
so I don't like
the
that.
smartest idea.
I don't like that. I don't want to spoil it here, but you roll him out. Don't like that. He's clearly not 100%. And this is just all Kool-Aid. Look
Great
where
play,
Kool-Aid
great
comes.
play by Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid comes from here. He's in man-to-man on this guy all the way across the entire formation. And he is just right in his hip pocket. Can't see the whole play there, but you can't cover any better than that. That's just perfect.
Yep.
That's probably the most encouraging thing that I've seen from Kool-Aid. And there have been several encouraging things from Kool-Aid, over the course of the whole year. But to make that play, to stick with the guy, to not panic and get too grabby or handsy,
Great play.
Yeah, that's very solid.
Yep.
So now finally Alabama has its opportunity. Bottom of the fourth overtime. What do you call up? Great story from John Metchie this week. They asked him, what did he see on this play? What was the call, etc. And he said, that's all number 9. Number 9 told me what to run. That kid's the GOAT. So Bryce Young clearly thought they had a good chance. Is that a little signal right there? I just noticed that.
Could be.
Yeah.
I don't know if Bryce is pointing to the sky.
I think he's pointing to the sky. Like he's pointing to the sky.
So I guess they had the discussion as they were trotting onto the field or whatever, but Bryce told Metchie the route to run here, puts it right on him. 2-pointer.
Oh, yeah.
The Iron Bowl. Absolutely incredible game for John Metchie, 13 catches. And, they escaped and they lived to fight another game.
Yep. And poetic irony that this game ends on John Metchie hitting the crane. Love it. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Love it. All right, we're short on time here. Our Zoom's going to run out. Fellas, it's been great as always. And we will see you guys next week for Roll Tide Rewind. Thank you for tuning in yet again.
Absolutely. Roll Tide.
Roll